Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Megumi, and this is Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer of your online TOEFL course called the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT, and you're one of my students this month. And you're working on your independent writing practice tests or improving your independent writing, and you have completed. This is the independent writing practice test number 4. And you've also paid for the additional service to have me read over every essay that you submit and give you very detailed comments, even editing suggestions on how you can make the writing better than it is right now. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at the question. People have different ways of escaping the stress and difficulties of modern life. Some read, some exercise, others work in their gardens. What do you think are the best ways of reducing stress? Use specific details and examples in your answer. Alright, so your first paragraph, so as I go I will make some changes. It says modern society is really stressful. We're always tired, in the difficult relationship, in the working place. Okay, so let's say we may become tired. I'm going to probably use cause effect here, due to the difficult, I'm going to put plural, difficult relationships in the working place. The hectic let's see here. So we may become tired due to the difficult relationships in the working place combined with the hectic schedules that so often accompany workers. I think that'll probably work there. Then maybe say and so on. I'm going to say, instead of among, I'm going to say amid. Amid is kind of like in the middle of, or amid these. Using the word these, it kind of goes back to what we just said. Amid these difficulties, some people watch movies. Now you got watch, read, and go, right? So parallel structure. Some people watch movies, read books, and go out to eat with friends. Though these difficulties may bring a relaxing time, they don't release physical fatigue. Therefore, I think light exercise is a little bit too wordy, is the best solution. Not of stress, but to relieve or reduce stress. Because exercise leads, I'm going to say leads to physical recovery, mental management, and I'm going to say an active condition. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by active condition. Let me go to that paragraph. We may have to go back to rewrite that. Yeah, I'm going to say rejuvenated mind and body. Okay, let's take a look at your first paragraph now. You see, modern society is really stressful. We may become tired due to the difficult relationships in the working place, combined with the hectic schedules that so often accompany workers. Amid these difficulties, some people watch movies, read books, and go out. Though these activities may bring a relaxing time, they don't release physical fatigue. Therefore, I think light exercise is a solution to relieve stress, because exercise leads to physical recovery, mental management, and a rejuvenated mind and body. Alright, so we got it. So first of all, I actually like the beginning of it. I like how you take 3 or 4 sentences to kind of set up what you want to do with the writing task before you actually get to the thesis. And I like the thesis at the very end here where you say therefore. So you say light exercise is useful to recover physical stress. For example, after sitting in front of the computer, I'm going to say for more than 2 hours, it is time to exercise to treat pain. How about to treat hip or shoulder pain? What's the difference? If possible, if you can take a prepositional phrase and reduce it to a single word like I did here, that's typically more concise. So you say to retreat the normal physical condition is essential light exercise is beneficial because it doesn't take much time. Okay, so the problem here is, I don't know, to retreat the normal physical condition, to retreat the normal physical condition is essential. I think you wanted to say to get the physical condition back to normal. I'm going to change this to get the physical condition back to normal is essential. How about is essential for? How about optimal health instead of good? Good isn't a great vocabulary word for writing. It doesn't do very much. So you say to get the physical condition back to normal is essential for optimal health. Light exercise, how about such as a 15-minute yoga routine is beneficial because it doesn't take so much time and the stretching That might work there. Now what I'm doing is trying to expand your paragraph a little bit. If we take a look at this, so basically we have about 72 words here, so that's probably pretty good. And I gave not just light exercise, but I gave an example of a type of light exercise. So I said light exercise such as a 15-minute yoga routine is beneficial because it doesn't take so much time, and the stretching will help to relieve the tension built up in the muscles. Then you have to say second, exercise is beneficial to keep a healthy mind in the midst of difficult situations resulting from business or personal relationships. You might say, unfortunately, sometimes we feel stress in these situations. How about hence should take care would say mentally depressed. Exercise elevates our mind by activating, I think you want to say something like this. Exercise elevates our mind by activating or releasing certain chemicals called endorphins. Create a feeling of euphoria or happiness. Which can be important in fighting depression. Something like that. That's you need to say some things in there. You got to get deeper than what you're doing if you want to get, if you're looking to get around 24 or 25 points out of 30, you're definitely going to have to get a little bit deeper with your examples than you're doing, and it really requires a lot of vocabulary. How about this? I can enjoy light sports such as tennis with friends How about this saying thus keeping my mind feeling positive. Okay, let's take a look at the paragraph now. Make sure this thing's still recording. 19 minutes. Wow, not even. Okay, let's take a look at it now. Second, exercise is beneficial to keep a healthy mind in the midst of difficult situations resulting from business or personal relationships. Unfortunately, sometimes we feel stress in these situations and hence should take care to prevent ourselves from becoming mentally depressed. Exercise elevates our mind by activating or releasing certain chemicals called endorphins. These endorphins create a feeling of euphoria or happiness, which can be important in fighting depression. For example, if I am tired after maybe a difficult exam, I can enjoy light sports such as tennis with friends, thus keeping my mind feeling positive. Okay, notice in the previous example, I gave the example of yoga. So I'm not just saying light sports, but I'm giving an example of that to give my writing a little more depth. Now again, we're trying to create a little bit more developed paragraphs. Notice this paragraph, compare what you've written here, compare that paragraph with what I just did here. You see what I'm saying? You got to get a little bit more detailed. So your paragraph, well, it's approximately 50 words, but let's take a look at it. It says, light exercise is effective to keep an active body This paragraph is the reason why you're going to get in the 2 range right here, I'll be honest with you. So you're struggling too much with your vocabulary and your word choice. You know what you want to say in your mind, right? But you don't know how to say it in English. You can express it obviously in Japanese, but you're finding difficulty finding the language to express it. You say, if we're hard to move, work, brain, and stress, we need to be active to escape the wrong. I don't know, we're running into big trouble here. This paragraph here is having trouble. I honestly don't know what you're trying to say here, so I'm going to try to give you a suggestion of how I think you can rewrite it, but by no means do I really know what you're trying to say here. So I might say, if we are mental fatigue How about hectic daily work schedule? Physically active. Maybe this idea, I'm trying to rewrite it here, but I don't exactly know what you're trying to say, right? So I'm just guessing. So if we are confined to a desk all day long and do not have time to move our bodies, and if we have a lot of mental fatigue from our hectic daily work schedule, how about we need to find ways to get our bodies physically active. Then we can get rid of this. Then you have to say something like this. For example, if I'm nervous, I want to exercise to release no, how about this? I want to exercise to make my body active and positive. Joking, you should say, is one of the good solutions. The problem is, joking, I don't think, is an example of light exercise. Joking is not really, it's more speaking, it's talking. To me, that's not really exercise. You might say a 30-minute brisk walk after a hard day's work give my body and mind exactly what it needs to recover. Daily stresses of life. So again, I'm taking your paragraph and making it a little bit fatter or more developed. All right, let's take a look at what we've done here. So third, light exercise is effective to keep an active body. If we are confined to a desk all day long and do not have time to move our bodies, and if we have a lot of mental fatigue from our hectic daily work schedule, we need to find ways to get our bodies physically active. For example, if I'm nervous, I want to exercise to make my body active and positive. A 30-minute brisk walk after a hard day's work will give my body and mind exactly what it needs to recover from the daily stresses of life. So I got rid of the word joking. To me, joking is not really what I consider a form of light exercise. Okay, so we have our different paragraphs, then we get to our conclusion. Hence, I think exercise, which brings us physical, how about probably the word conditioning is going to work better here. We usually talk about conditioning our bodies, not really adjusting our bodies. Mental, it brings us physical conditioning, mental elevation, and an active body attitude is the best way to reduce stress. An active brain and body find solutions how about difficult situations. I think we have to keep in the difficulty with exercise, keeping our body in active condition. Now, I think you're kind of repeating these ideas unnecessarily, so I'm going to get rid of that. Now you have your conclusion here, right? All right, so we've made some changes. Okay, now let's take a look at it one more time. So you have people have different ways of escape. Okay, you know what the question is. Here it is. Modern society is really stressful. We may become tired due to the difficult relationships in the working place, combined with the hectic schedules that so often accompany workers. Amid these difficulties, some people watch movies, read books, and go out to eat with friends. Though these activities may bring a relaxing time, they don't release physical fatigue. Therefore, I think light exercise is the best solution to relieve stress, because exercise leads to physical recovery, mental management, and a rejuvenated mind and body. First, light exercise is useful to recover physical stress. For example, after sitting in front of the computer for more than 2 hours, it is time to exercise to treat hip or shoulder pain. To get the physical condition back to normal is essential for optimal health. Light exercise, such as a 15-minute yoga routine, is beneficial because it doesn't take so much time, and the stretching will help to relieve the tension built up in the muscles. Second, exercise is beneficial to keep a healthy mind in the midst of difficult situations resulting from business or personal relationships. Unfortunately, sometimes we feel stress in these situations, and hence should take care to prevent ourselves from becoming mentally depressed. Exercise elevates our mind by activating, releasing certain chemicals called endorphins. These endorphins create a feeling of euphoria or happiness, which can be important in fighting depression. For example, if I am tired after a difficult exam, I can enjoy light sports such as tennis with friends, thus keeping my mind, how about just say my mind, positive. Third, light exercise is effective to keep an active body. If we are confined to a desk all day long and do not have time to move our bodies, if a lot of mental fatigue from our daily work schedule, we may need to find ways to get our bodies physically active. For example, if I am nervous, I want to exercise to make my body active and positive. A 30-minute brisk walk after a hard day's work will give my body and mind exactly what it needs to recover from the daily stresses of life. Now, I think the word recover is important here. You see that word? Because recover, if you go back to the thesis, it is a restatement of what's called rejuvenate. to liven, to re-liven up something. So there's a connection there. I did that on purpose. Okay, then in conclusion you say, hence, I think exercise, which brings us physical conditioning, mental elevation, and an active body attitude, is the best way to reduce stress. An active brain and body will be able to quickly find solutions in difficult situations. Now, you see this? Now, it looks like it's really long, right? But maybe it really isn't that long. It's probably closer to approximately, I'm going to say 350 words. It's not as long as it looks. Okay, let's try this. Let's go down to what it would be. So this is what it's going to look like on the actual test. You see that? So it isn't too bad. This is what I've done here. This gives you an example of what it should look like. If you take a look at the actual essay, we start off, with the first paragraph, your second paragraph, your third, your fourth paragraph. Then we have our conclusion here, and that's pretty much about what you want to do for the TOEFL. So you're looking for approximately 350 words. You want to make sure you have good control of your vocabulary and your grammar, that you can demonstrate that. Okay, let me go ahead and take a look at the scores now, because we want to see how you would score. So a couple of problems here. So if you take a look at these examples, so I'm going to put you at about 2.5 to 2.75, between 17 and 18 points out of 30, right? So the main thing is, it says your practice test has one or more of the following weaknesses, and I took the rubrics that the TOEFL uses and I kind of re-explained them and make them a little easier to understand. But number one, limited development of ideas as it relate to the topic and the task. Yes, you said light exercise, but you didn't say yoga. You said light exercise, but you didn't say tennis. You said light exercise, but you didn't say walking. So you didn't use enough details to support your ideas. Inadequate organization or connection of ideas. No, you don't really have a problem in this area, to be honest with you. You have a good organization, you have a good thesis, you understand the whole nature of creating your topic sentences and all of that, so I can't really say you have problems in that area. Inappropriate or lack of details, examples, and explanations to support your generalizations. Yes, you have problems with that. Number three, numerous problems with inappropriate word choice or word forms. Yes, the word choice is killing you. So you're just not exactly sure what word you should use in a certain situation. For example, I use the word rejuvenate, I think, which is a good word to show how you can bring your body back to a normal state after being stressed out and things, right? I also gave you the word endorphins. Endorphins is a scientific word. If you watch a lot of TV and things, you will have heard this word. Endorphins is a chemical that the body releases during exercise, which makes the mind feel positive and not negative, which helps overcome depression. So many doctors suggest exercise because of that as a way of overcoming depression. Now, a large number of sentence structure and or usage errors, I don't think you have a major problem with that. You're demonstrating, Megumi, pretty good control, I think, over your sentence structure, your sentence formation, right? But you just don't have the vocabulary to really express what you want to say, or you use the wrong vocabulary words to express what you want to say. So the bottom line is you're translating a little bit. You're taking ideas in your own language. You're trying to translate those things into English. And that's why I'm going to put you at a score of about 17 to 18 points out of 30. So the main thing is The problems that you're having right now cannot be overcome quickly, but the main thing is you need to continue, like I said, to have contact with English as much as possible, reading magazines in English, reading newspapers, reading longer books, listening to music, watching TV, watching documentaries, talking to native speakers. You have to do a lot of these kinds of things over probably a few months, and this gives you a lot better knowledge of the English language, and it would be better for you it would be easier for you to fully express your ideas in English. Now, something you might want to try out is in my lessons, I do have, if I remember correctly, one of my writing lessons, it will show you 45 sample essays, 45 different independent writing practice tests, all of which will score right around 25 to 30 points out of 30, right? So they're all good models for you. What you might do is maybe once a day for the next month is take one of those models and either handwrite it or retype it into a computer program. Just type each word. Don't copy and paste it. That's not the same thing. What you're trying to do is you're trying to feel the grammar, to feel the vocabulary, to feel the details. So by doing that, it'll make you a little bit more aware of all the conscious little choices that writers have to make when they're getting their ideas down. So that might be a pretty good suggestion for you, something to think about. Now, something else which is good is, when you're reading the newspaper and you're reading articles, normally just read them silently and work on reading quickly and make sure you understand what you're doing. But maybe every now and then you can read the article out loud. Again, pay attention to the language choices that the writer is making and become more aware of those things. And that will help you, I think, in the long run. And obviously, keep working hard in the vocabulary section of my course. Once you learn those 1,700 TOEFL words, you will have a lot more ability to express your ideas in writing and in speaking after having learned those words.